Hey guys, Coach Ben here. Welcome to episode 2 of the Road to Arnie series. As you can see, filming a lot of this stuff for you, raw, uncut, just right here off my phone. I think you guys will appreciate that. There's a lot of fancy stuff out there on YouTube, but I'm just keeping it real with you guys here, taking you with me every chance I can. So, you see, I'm in my flannel. I actually got my jeans on now. I rarely wear jeans, but we're actually out in the city. Me and the wife went to Rockefeller Center to see the Christmas tree, something we usually do every year. And I just got back. It is 12:15 a.m. But I have big goals for this Arnie prep and this big meet. All right, I'm coming for the belt. So if I have to get in the cold ass garage space at 12:15 on a Saturday night, then that's what I gotta do. All right, but taking you with me, I figured I'd show you some of the stuff that we did at PT last week. All right, with Dr. Jimmy, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to be consistent as possible on a daily basis, which is why I'm in here, coming for that belt. So I'm doing everything I have to do come for that belt and win it convincingly. All right, some really big names up on that stage, but I'm coming for that belt. All right, guys, enjoy. We actually have some footage coming your way as well of what we're going to do PT work this week, too. All right, enjoy. So just some stuff I'm doing for PT right now is just this banded shoulder mobility stuff. All right, I'm going to take you through it real quick here, just show you some of the variations I'm going through, and then tell you a little bit about the soft tissue stuff I'm doing as well. All right, and this is week 1 PT, and you will see in this film too what we're doing this upcoming week here too. So first thing, I got this band, all right, and this is the average band from Elite FTS. Got that just hooked up behind me here. I'm gonna put some weight into this band, all right, so it's pulling my shoulder back, and a couple variations I'm gonna do, right, and then this is just to get some protraction there in the shoulder blade. It's gonna bring the shoulder back and a nice little chest stretch in there as well. But hey, I couldn't get my hand like to the lower back, but I'm getting up mid back now, and I've been doing this consistently on a daily basis, so it's working well. Okay, but this isn't something that's new for me. It's just that I'm bringing now a lot more intent to it. And that's what Dr. Jimmy said. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. And just like going back to when I went to Chris Duffin's seminar, if you're going to do something, do it. And these are 2 lessons that I've really been trying to apply to everything regarding business, training, life in general. All right, 2 big lessons there. So I'm going to put some weight into this band. Okay, and then first I'm just going to reach out in front and across, right? Really reaching, trying to protract as much as I can. And I'm going to bring intent with it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing down here. All right, let it pull me back. Reach. Big old arm circles I can do with my elbow. And really reach for more and more. I can feel things popping around in there. All right, in reverse. All right, I can do these wings when I put my hand behind my back, push forward, let it pull me back, push into the band, pull me back. Okay, guys, so I've been doing that both sides, about 5 each variation. Okay, really trying to reach for more range every time. And then also what I'm doing with a cross ball, okay, and I'm not going to demo this exactly for you now, but I'll tell you about it. All right, I'm getting a lacrosse ball and I'm putting it right on the outskirts of my shoulder blades, okay? And what I'm doing, I'm pinning it up against the wall, right? And I'm just going through motion. All right, nothing in specific. He just said go through motion, okay? So I'm going overhead, right? I'm coming out to the side. I'm doing some rotation. I'm coming out to the side here. I'm going across the body, and that's a real kicker. That's a tough one. Right, coming across the body like that. But hey, I find a real nice sensitive area, upper traps, all right, right alongside the shoulder blade, like I was saying. And that's what I've been doing. So that's what I'm getting in right here. It's past midnight. but I'm determined to get this thing because I know it's going to help me. We got 800 pounds going up this week, guys. Hey guys, so on to some bench work this week. This is 755 pounds to a 1.5 board. My plan for this session was to continue to work through last man standing attempts. The higher end of it. At this meet, the bar is starting at 600 pounds, and I can either take a 25 or 40 pound jump. That is up to me. So my plan is to go 600, 640, 680, 705, and then hopefully switch shirts and do some of these higher 700s. I don't think that meet is going to come down to whoever's in the 800 pounds. I think it's probably going to be resolved around higher 700s. At least I'm hoping. But I'm working through those heavy weights right now. And then the lighter weights, as long as I can touch them in my black SDP, shouldn't have an issue there. So that was the plan for this session. Just kind of work down in the boards a bit more. So I believe last time I took this, I think it was to a 2 board, but working down to a 1.5 board here. So it was a tough session for a couple reasons. One, this shirt was very tight today for whatever reason. I didn't really gain any body weight, but maybe it was something I ate the night prior that really bloated me up. I did have a great meal right before training. So it could have been something like that, or I'm just, increasing my dimensions at my current weight. But I had a really hard time with this session. With my forearms just felt like they were shattered. It was very uncomfortable. Usually when that happens to me, and I get that kind of shearing pain through my arms, usually it's a sign that I've been pressing a little too heavy, too hot for too long. So probably didn't get enough recovery with my RAM work last week, and I still pushed that pretty aggressively with that 555. So I just need a little downtime from pressing, and I've been pressing a little bit more throughout the week, so just need a little more recovery time. But I will solve that in my training. I will get some recovery time in. I'm going up to Vermont next week, so you will get some of that footage. I'm actually going to work through a little bit of a mock meet. The other issue that I was running into this session was these nosebleeds. So you can already see I got a tampon stuffed up one nose to stop that. And then the other nostril blew out on me. So I got 2 blown out nostrils. This session was an entire bloodbath. 780. There's like blood squirting out my nose. It's running down my eye sockets. I'm choking on blood. It's really uncomfortable thing. So that was a problem in itself. And if that happens during the meet, which it very might will, I might even get some goggles because I can't see when I got blood running down into my eyes, which is an issue. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to plug up both nostrils because I still have to kind of breathe. If I got blood running down my throat as well, that's a problem. So I'm considering getting some goggles for this meet. I'm sure I might be the first bencher ever to use goggles, but these nosebleeds are a huge issue for me, and it's something I commonly get in the winter. So this is 780 pounds. This is my top set. I called it here. You can see I have a hard time just stabilizing this weight off the get-go. Just the pain running through my arms. But this is actually my best press of the day. I was really happy with how this moved and felt.
Good. And when he's doing that, so reach that left side again. He's got a lot of extra upper trap movement there. Let's do the same on the other side. The same thing. Plus he's shaking and there's a lot of effort. Now reach behind your back. So the goal to see is can you reach up to the other part of his shoulder blade here.
Last week it was down here.
And then the other direction. Same thing. The goal is can we reach over here. And the one thing I notice here is he moves well down here, but for lack of better terms, this whole area here is kind of just glued. Just all the way glued in. All across this superior border, things are tight. He's got a big bench and holds big loads, but just at rest, the muscle tension shouldn't be so much. It's very similar over on this side, and that was an area we found last week to be part of it. So the question is it a muscular problem in here? Is this stuff holding too tight? Is there some weakness throughout here? Or is it just a lack of motion, which could even go into his ribs and things that way? You being able to actually get into a loaded position, easier. If that's easier and you can move those shoulder blades more, you theoretically could put more force out of that.
Yeah.
that's where the skill comes in. When you have the skill, you can use that extra range of motion. Some people who don't have that extra range of motion now have created another problem. Because now they're into a new range they can't get into. It's like people who, you fix their squat and then now they can actually, break parallel, and then they're not strong down there because they've never been down there.
As I always said, if you can't touch a duffel bar in a good position, you probably shouldn't be using it.
Yeah,
Forcing you
and there's stuff too to where we accommodate stuff. Like my left shoulder's not great. I use a slingshot. My issues here for stability, it feels fantastic. Yeah. And then I could just, I could bang out 20 reps with 2 1/4 just fine, and I feel great, and my muscles feel good.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely cheating, as far as using something assisting me. But I'm able to get load on the muscle in a way that I like and enjoy, which is something that I think is important. But in this thing here, without going too far off, is if you can move and control your shoulder blades more, then you could definitely create more force. And if you could be here with a lot of force, everyone can hold a shit ton of weight here. Everybody can do that. The eccentric load, everybody's stronger that way. Especially if you have great control, you could be probably 120, 150% stronger probably, right? But here, how many people are strong off of their chest?
Not too many.
Not too many. So if you're strong and stable here, and you're strong and stable here, and you have the proper technique, well, some of that strong and stable here is literally, so, go down into that posture, is literally the shoulder blades moving. It's just the shoulder blades moving. And some of it is just words. Lock the shoulder blades down, anchor them down. Well, they have to move. They can't just lock down. So if they can move on your rib cage, well, that's part of the shoulder complex.
Well, I can't believe I had such a hard time just with that.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things too of where, when's the last time you ever just held one area down and stretched it?
Yeah. Well, usually I'm so tucked under, so much going on, and I'm never just using my shoulder.
Oh yeah.
I have a very hard time with the overhead press.
Well, part of it is being able to just move the shoulder blades and that whole complex separate from everything else.
Yeah.
So you should be able to extend, or retract your shoulder blades and then protract them without rounding the spine and losing your belt line or moving your neck, chicken-headed and shit. You should be able to just move those separate. Part of that is, if this is super tight, they're not going to move separate. And then the issue is everyone tries to go after pec minor and pec, and granted they're probably part of it, but this is the path that nobody takes, and it's a path that gets people better faster. And I'm all about whatever's going to get people there faster, but it's also finding what you need.
Yeah.
So that's a tissue problem. Give it a tissue fix. The movement stuff is an actual wake up the muscle problem, like a motor control stability type thing. Stability being strength under load. In the case of lying on your stomach, that loads gravity. In the case of bench press, that loads whatever the load you got on the bar.
Yeah. I have a hard enough time raising my hand and keeping it there.
Yeah. So it's one of the things to where
shoulder work.
The more muscular control you have there, the better.
Yeah.
Starting with that position being here in this position lying on your back, first that external rotation is a coupled motion with flexion, which is overhead motion. So if you have control here, you can have control further. And in your case with the bench press, that's actually the position you're in. So it's
walking around like that.
So you can maintain that range, but you're here. This is where you live. That's where your art is, right? That's where your sport is. So if we can do some loaded things in that position, it's probably better.
Yeah.
And it's at such a, if we think of your numbers, you're in such a high threshold number that if we could do something on the lower end, it just makes it better. To where you do stuff like that, you've already got the high threshold part taken care of. If you can figure out the low threshold kind of coordination.
The glutes last week.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. So do the easy shit. If you can do the easy shit, the hard shit's real easy. You already do that. It's high skill. You do the tiny things. All of a sudden, you create skill throughout the whole entire movement.
Yeah.
It's a home run.
Makes sense.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You're a free man.
So I hope you enjoyed this episode in the Road to Arnie series. I took you behind the scenes of what I'm doing at PT a little bit more this week. You saw some clips there with Dr. Jimmy, what he's doing with me when we have our sessions, and some of the things that he's having me do at home as well. So again, I'm not injured, guys. I've been blessed not to have a major injury in my career. I feel relatively pretty healthy. However, I thought it was very important for me to go see Dr. Jimmy as maintenance work, because as I continue to press bigger and bigger weights, as I continue to get bigger myself, I have to make sure I'm not setting myself up for major injury. Because, guys, it only takes one time. God forbid, pec tear, something like that. That'll really set you back. And you compound that over time. That's a huge setback. So, again, I'm only 27 right now. And I want to do this for a long time. I have some really big goals. Like I said, I want to press 1,000 one day. Okay, I'm expecting that to be a very long-term project. However, I need to stay healthy to do that. Okay, so again, that's why I'm seeing them. I preach that to my team all the time. Make sure you get with a PT that you trust that will help you along the way, keep you healthy, doing this for a long time. All right, so it's more of preventative measures than anything. But I'm very blessed to have a dude like Dr. Jimmy helping me out, who I trust very much and have known for a while. And, if I'm going to come for the belt this year, I better be doing everything I can to make sure I put together a good run and put together my best performance yet on that stage. So that's really important to me. And, it's about time I really put aside that time to do that type of work to get myself better. So you saw some of that in this episode. Next week episode, super excited about going up to Vermont to train with actually one of my competitors too in this meet, Jamie Mata and his crew. He helps me out every meet, guys. His crew, those guys are awesome, selfless dudes. And, he actually helped me when I was benching single ply. First time I was ever in a shirt was with Jamie. And, he helped me through. We were just working with 315 back then. But yeah, it's a long time coming. 4 years ago that was, and man, I'm just blessed to be in the position I am now and getting a chance to go up there and train next week. Super amped about that, and I'm sure that'll be a great experience. I'm gonna bring it for you guys and always get some good videos there, and I'm bringing behind the scenes a little bit more on the business side of things. So when we do these podcasts and stuff and all that, I'll show you all that stuff next week. I'm super pumped, guys. I hope you are. Thank you for joining me this episode. Make sure you catch episode 3.